Welcome to Shorty Supercoach. What's going on, guys? And the tipping is not going well. I tipped the Saints last week. Absolute disaster, and they let me down. They let me down brutally. I feel like I'm dropping again in the tips. Recently, I just haven't been able to land some of those 50-50 games. I think at one point I got up to 6th in Shorty Supercoach. I reckon I'm down to 13th or 14th. 13th. Not good at all. Costly, just tipping the 5. Very costly. Cotsy had a nice one. He moved right up with the 7 and a pretty handy margin. But my margin just gets fucked with the 40. That's what hurts the most. Not only did I get a bad tip, but to lose on the margin game as well, very frustrating. I'm 4 behind the leader now. Peter Wills doing very nicely. They're tied there with Bat Rooney. Got a couple on 109 there. Then it's quite a few on 108. And then, yes, we work our way all the way down to quite a few here in the early 100s. So I wonder if anyone got much more than a 7 last week. It was a tough week. Probably an 8 in here or somewhere. There you go. There's 1-8. Very nicely done there. You've had a good few weeks, actually. But so I don't know. I think there's a couple of games this week that I might be able to get some back, but don't know. And the first one, again, it's on the margin game. It's Tigers and the Dockers. Really tough one. Hard to get a read. Richmond was so poor last week and relatively poor the week before against Gold Coast, maybe just for the last 6 minutes. And the Dockers, I can't get a read on them. I thought they played poorly at Marvel the other week. They came out and had a win. I thought they'd knock off Sydney at home. They have a loss. I can't get a read on them. I think they're a better side than Richmond. If this was at the G, I would tip the Tigers, but I'm going to tip the Dockers by, let's say, 11 points. But yeah, it's a real tough one. I do think the Dockers are a top 4 side. I think Richmond are more battling it out for the 8. So I'm going to back them in to do it away from home, but we'll see how they go. Confident on Hawthorn. I know North don't mind it down there in Tassie, but neither do the Hawks. And North were much better last week, but certainly not enough for me to tip them. Got to tip the Swans at home against Adelaide. I'll tip the Cats. I keep saying they keep performing beyond where I feel they can or will. I feel like they're going to have a down game in energy at some stage. That doesn't mean they'll lose, but I think this will be a tough game. But I will tip the Cats. You've got to respect what they're doing. Confident on Brisbane. Gold Coast let me down last week as well. Who knows what you're going to get from the Bombers? And I guess who knows what you're going to get from the Suns as well. I can't get a read on them. Tipping the D's. I know they're not in fantastic form and it's at Marvel, so I guess, you give a slight favouring to the Dogs, but definitely think Melbourne are the superior team. Really confident on the Blues there at Marvel. I'm going to tip the Pies a bit like when teams are up for so long, like I said with the Cats. Pies are similar. They've been getting the job done with a lot of close games. There's a big rivalry between these two. I wouldn't be shocked to see this one go down to the wire as well. But it's just one of those tips where I don't have enough confidence in Essendon to tip them. But yeah, you just got to sort of default to the Pies. And this one, I honestly thought this might be closer to 50-50. I am going to go back to the Saints. They let me down last week, but I'm giving them another chance. I think West Coast at home, they've been playing slightly better footy, so I do respect that, but I don't know if it's enough for me to tip them. I do think St Kilda, while they're in awful form, I just think I have slightly more confidence in them to respond at some point in time. I just couldn't see myself picking West Coast, to be honest. So, really tight game, though. I probably thought the percentages would be more like 50-50. But, yeah, I need to get them all right this week, I reckon. Or I have to get the last game and the first game right. I can't be missing out on... They're not quite 50-50 splits, but they're, sort of 70-30 if we're going on what roughly it says on the percentages. So I've got to get those right. Because time's running out for Shorty to try and move his way up in those ranks. So have a good week. Feel free to comment your tips below. And I've got my goal kicking video coming out later tonight. So stay tuned for that. Cheers, guys.